Nami is our surprise shot winner of the day because it's her turn. And I didn't see anything specific from her. So I picked this one out and I tried to make it something that wasn't too terrible.
Since John apparently can't take shots anymore.
What are you talking about?
Last week you did not take the second shot at all.
Oh, did I not?
Yeah.
No.
Okay. Surprise shots. Surprise shots. We don't know what they are because they're a surprise. Cheers, y'all.
Cheers.
Cheers.
I'm not happy with you, Jen.
I'm sorry.
And that had whiskey in it, didn't it?
Oh, good God.
It was a whiskey sour shot.
Ugh, gross.
Oh, shitty titties.
I liked it.
Shit on my tits and then rub it in the nips.
I really just don't like whiskey.
I'm sorry.
What about Tennessee whiskey?
I like the song, and that's it.
All right, go ahead, Jen. Tell us, recap it for us.
I cannot.
Okay, we are in the Czech Republic, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yes, we are.
And someone picks up on basically like their baby monitor screen someone else's signal, and it is a boy in a basement or something, whatever.
Oh, right. He's been being tortured.
Yes. He's like living in his own filth.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this is the boy.
Oh, gosh.
What? It's not bad.
I know.
Oh,
it's just
poor thing.
creepy.
That's him getting fed some bread.
And then there's more than one
That's
child there, correct?
Yes.
So the family gets arrested, and it's like the mom of the kids and the mom's sister, so the aunt, and there's 3 kids in total that are taken away. Right?
Yeah. Did everyone listen to the first episode that's on here right now? I will recap. But
yeah, I'm doing a terrible job. So,
well,
yeah.
I mean, you're doing better than me because you know what I think happens is that sometimes
you fall asleep. Yeah.
That hasn't happened in a really long time. Although I will say I was out till 2 a.m., which is really late.
That night?
This morning.
Oh.
But I feel fine. I feel great. And then sometimes I think that I black out after the fact.
Well, you probably do because you drink a lot.
I do black out sometimes. I mean, sometimes I just genuinely don't remember cases.
Well, but not after the fact. Like I'm present when I will say, yes, there have been times when my eyes have closed and it's not anything on John or his storytelling. It's the booze.
Sorry, what are you talking about? I was having a dream and you woke me up.
I had some really effed up dreams this week, and then after the fact, when he was like part 2, and I was like, wait, the Ken and Barbie case? I was no, that was episode 1, and I like literally struggle sometimes to remember what it is we talked about in the second episode, and I think it's the booze. This is only my second beer, and that's the only other beer that I will have today. Because you know what, I just decided that I don't need all of it. I don't need the beer. And when I was at the Brew Lab the other day,
drinking beer,
they did give us a couple free beers. It was like 10 a.m.
The other day when I was drinking beer, I thought to myself, you know what?
I don't need this.
No, it was like my first beer, and I was halfway.
I have 6 more, and then I'm done.
I was halfway through, and I was like, I'm full. Like I don't like, but I didn't want to be rude. I had to finish the beer, obviously. So anyway,
this case is going to be a little long. Try your best to stay with me on this.
And this is the only episode we're doing today. That is why it's the Supremo only.
Yeah, this case is really confusing. It broke me, literally. I do have another case, a German case that we can do later if you want, if we have time. But we're also going to a brewery right after this to book a live show. And it's not just how I'm presenting it. This is a jigsaw puzzle that you don't know the picture until the very end. Then you see the whole picture. Because this is going to get really confusing. All right. But it's so interesting. Last week, we started May 7th, 2007 in South Moravia, the Czech Republic, the town of Kurim, Kurim. Mm-hmm. It's a very small village. A guy named Edward Turdy on his baby monitor, because he was a brand new father, the baby monitor started picking up his next door neighbor, a recluse woman named Clara Moriova. And on that baby monitor was live recording of a child, a 6-year-old child named Andres, right? And I just showed you Andres. Mm-hmm. The cops come in, they rescue Andres. He's been beaten. He's suffered all kinds of torture marks with like a fork dragged down his skin. You remember that?
Yes.
All this stuff. There was also another boy named Jacob pulled out of his class, and also he was abused as well, just not as bad. And he wasn't confined to a dungeon like Andres was. Mm-hmm. There was also a 13-year-old girl named Anna. Her real name is Anika. She was also beat and bruised and scarred. They rescued all three. They all three went to a children's hospital. And I ended the episode with Anna. She actually escaped the institution through an open window, or someone helped her, kidnapped her, whatever. And then this is for you guys. The live stream cut off if you listen to the last one. So I'm going to tell you this now. This was very important for the last episode. So if you guys listen, I actually ended the episode not with Anna escaping, but with the court system checking the DNA, because she was adopted. She was an adopted foster child.
Okay.
And in the Czech Republic, as in everywhere, this is it takes nearly a year or more to adopt a child. There's a lot of paperwork. There's a lot of background checks. There's a lot of everything.
Right.
They compared Anna's DNA from inside the hospital when they took her DNA when she was rescued inside the hospital to her foster record DNA, and it did not match. So not only is a 13-year-old girl who is most likely mentally deficient with the mind of a child out there somewhere in the Czech Republic forest battling no one knows what, she's also not who people think she is.
Who is this person? Where is the other girl?
Right.
And that isn't the confusing part, okay?
It's not?
No.
There's more?
There's a fucking shit ton more.
Okay. All right. I'm focused.
Okay.
I'm trying to stay focused. I'm already lost.
Anna, the one, did I show you a picture of her? Let me show you.
Yes. Yes, because she doesn't look like the mom.
Right.
Well, I mean, she does look like the mom, I think.
No, she's adopted. She doesn't look like the mom. And we also talked about her brilliance. Like, she's actually, so she's nonverbal, but
so she is nonverbal.
But she's a genius.
I didn't say that. I said in the institution, they gave her a pen and paper to doodle on, like crayons, literally, because she has the mind of a child. And instead of drawing a house with the sunshine with everyone happy, she drew a 4-dimensional exploded view of a tesseract.
Oh, that's right. And I remember talking about Marvel.
And she also included some calculus symbols as well. So you have a mentally deficient 13-year-old girl who has been abused, scratches, welts, everything on her body, who is nonverbal, who was rescued from a home with her brother in a dungeon getting beat. Okay. And then she gets to the institution, and instead of drawing clouds and sunshines and happy things, she draws an exploded view of a 4-dimensional tesseract or whatever it is. It's like a 4-dimensional cube, which is beyond the comprehension of
most people.
Yeah. I mean,
I wonder if the Greys know about the tesseract.
Obviously, I can also see in 4th dimension, because once you learn quantum physics, it's kind of like easy. But for you guys, just think of this little square.
For us peasants.
Yeah. So that is where we stopped. So I hope you guys remember that.
We do now.
Yes, I do remember that now.
Now, this case touches a lot of other people. And I have to include some other people. I'm actually starting a few months later in 2008, about almost a year later, actually. A year later, January 5th, 2008. And we're going here. This is a car rental center. That's weird. You can see it on the Google Earth there.
Enterprise?
No, I
Budget?
think it's...
Dollar? Hertz?
Whichever one will pay us a sponsorship.
I think it's something we can't... Oh, it does say budget. Oh, no, it says budget and then Hertz and then Avis. So I guess
they're all the same. Those three are all the same. And dollar, I think, is turned in there too.
So yeah, you're right.
Yeah, but wow, points for me.
Wait, why do they have three?
A whole bunch of the car rental companies combined and merged because there were a lot of them out there. I don't know, but I'm renting a car next weekend when I'm in Atlantic City. I'm flying into JFK, driving 2.5 hours to Atlantic City, and then when we fly out, we're going to Newark.
Are you working on the track that weekend? Atlantic City is the track where all I think it's like 8th Street and Bauer Street.
I'm not working next weekend. Oh. Sorry.
She will not be here next weekend.
No, I know working, like walking,
I know
showing
what you meant.
your titties.
I know what you meant. I'm not working next weekend.
Can you please get on with the goddamn story?
I might try to sit at the blackjack table, though.
January 8, 2008. This is a year after the last story.
Oh.
Part 1.
So she's missing for a year. Nobody's seen her.
Who? We're not starting with Anna.
No, this is a different story. This is a year after the baby monitor.
Yeah,
right?
this is a year. I'm not starting with Anna in the story.
Okay.
We're going back to Anna.
That looks like nice water.
But look at this. When I zoom out, where's the zoom?
Nowhere near where you're pressing.
I don't.
That's not it.
Fucking titties. Watch when I zoom out.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Fucking
Yeah. Whoa.
Whoa, look where we're at.
Wait, where are we?
We're at the top of the world, baby.
I'm on the top of the world.
Are we in Sweden?
No, we're in Norway. And I kind of thought there would be more ice up there.
No.
Well, that's the whole thing we were talking about earlier. It's
Iceland
fucking melted.
This is the North Pole.
Greenland is full of ice, but Iceland is very nice.
This is the North Pole.
That's where the white is.
That
Yeah.
used to be all ice.
Right.
And then it has melted.
But that's happened before, like millions of years ago.
Yeah.
All right,
I don't think we would have survived if that happened a million years ago. And,
Oh, no, it was before humans.
We're going to Norway. The very tippity top, you don't stop rocking, is the very tip
are there people
top.
that live there?
Yeah, Norway.
Yes.
People live in Norway.
No. Like that far
Yeah,
north.
they're called Norwegians.
They also have a cruise line.
Thanks, everyone.
The very top of the world, the Arctic Circle. What am I doing here? We were in the Czech Republic, and this story is going to take you all around Europe. But at the very top, you can't get any higher and still have a civilization here. The very top of Norway.
Like
is-
on a mountain?
I showed you the picture, Jen.
You always do that. You look like you're like swishing mouthwash around. You're like,
Because that's when I actually think about what I'm going to say when I do that.
this is a good beer. This
Tromsø.
victory.
Tromsø, I'm probably pronouncing that correctly. Tromsø, Norway, the most northernmost city in the world.
Wow.
Between May and July, the sun doesn't even set.
That's pretty cool.
Between November and January, it never rises. Complete darkness.
Oh,
That would not be cool.
Like-
I don't like that.
Like Jen's soul.
He's not wrong.
January 5th, 2008, a man named Michael Ria is returning a car in a rental office.
In the dark.
And the police bust in. Now, this rental office, I just showed you on the map.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a small, how many people are in that rent? No one.
I don't know. It's near the water, though.
We're talking about one employee, only one man renting a car a day. No one goes up there.
That's the thing about car rentals. They never have enough people working behind the desks. It's like they do it intentionally to make you wait.
He's returning this car. This guy named Michael Ria. He's returning his car that he rented. And Norwegian police, bust through the door. And it is a SWAT-like operation. 30 policemen bust through the door. Because Michael was traveling with a 13-year-old boy who he had kidnapped. Now, this is not the Anna case. This is a different. So we're
This is not. Is this the? Is this
just
the
stay. Just stay with me here. Stay with me.
I'm staying with you.
Stay with me.
I am staying with you.
All right. This man, 30-something-year-old man, was traveling with a 13-year-old boy named Adam, who he had kidnapped from an orphanage. This boy's name is Adam Farnar. He is very fond of skateboarding. He is the son of Martin Farnar, a successful Czech playwright who was obviously, since he is a big success, this is a high-profile case. So this boy is kidnapped. And this is related to this case. Okay, you just stay with me. This boy's father, Martin, a successful Czech playwright, worked in the theater of Paradubis and was the author of 3 books. Now, Adam, 13-year-old Adam, looked a little bit older than his age, but maybe that was due to the permanent dark circles around his eyes.
Oh.
Perhaps they thought he had suffered from cancer, but he didn't. It turned out that this boy had been abused, much like Andres, who we talked about earlier. So at this point, everything's good. The police have got their man. The world is satisfied. The news media, thank God. Thank God this boy can be returned. All right. A little bit more about this boy. The teachers at the school he was at, they noticed signs of mental scarring and PTSD. This kid was scared of loud noises. Every time the door would slam, he would and cower under his desk. A 13-year-old child with PTSD symptoms. The police questioned this boy, Mikhail. He's arrested. He's in custody. He's behind bars. Now they have the 13-year-old and they're questioning him. And this is a very delicate process. And this boy starts to tell a story. He says that he ended up in an orphanage and he started describing some very horrible abuse from not only people he didn't know, but also his father, the successful playwright. His father had been selling him to men. For sexual purposes.
Oh no.
For instance, he drew a picture of 7 children. Now he's 13-year-old, so he can, add some detail in there. There were 7 children in this picture because he didn't want to talk either. He could kind of draw it out. I guess the trauma was so bad. A picture of 7 children, blood on their hands and feet, and a man standing over them in a threatening manner.
Oh.
Adam was number 7, and all 7 had been abused together. Michael Farmer, and I'm going to show you right now, was not only contacted, but he was arrested, the father, because sure, your boy was kidnapped, but now your boy is saying that you have rented him out to several men. So we're going to arrest you and your wife until we get to the bottom of this. Martin, the father, said, okay, I'll go into custody, but I would like to talk to the public. I'd like to do a press release. I mean, he is a well-respected man.
Mm-hmm.
And this is him right here. In a press release after his arrest. That's him.
He looks very joyful.
Yeah, he doesn't look worried about what is going on.
Mm-mm.
He doesn't look worried, but...
He looks like he's in the middle of an interview on the red carpet.
Foreigner, he was arrested by the Norwegian police. He asked to give a press release to explain everything. His wife, Helena, was there, and he said, I am extremely grateful that Adam has been returned, but here's the problem. We have a son named Adam, and this is not him.
What?
What the fuck is going on here?
It's like the changeling.
Their child was with them, not abused, not scarred, a normal kid.
Is this like a cloning case? Like what?
No, it's like
happening?
it's like the changeling. Remember that movie with Angelina Jolie?
Yeah.
Walter Collins. We did that story, didn't we?
I don't remember.
So
I think we did.
he wanted to do a press release because I don't know who that is, but he is not my Adam, because my Adam's right here.
Did they do a DNA test? Like, which Adam is the real Adam?
How many Adams does he have?
Now I'm stopping that segment right there, and we're gonna.
Oh my god!
We're gonna go.
You're
back.
right. This is a
There's too
confusing.
many. Yeah, I totally understand why you were like, maybe not today.
Let's go back now. Let that simmer in your head. Let that simmer, but don't think about it. Just kind of let it there, and we'll revisit that. It does tie in.
You know what's funny?
But let that just simmer. And now let's go back to the actual Morova sisters, the mother and the aunt, who were abusing the 2 children and the daughter, or the 3 children, 2 sons and a daughter, foster daughter, Andres, Jacob, and Anika. Let's go back to them. And because we got to put this together. And right now it is, you just dumped a jigsaw puzzle out without looking at the front box. You have no idea what it's gonna be. You just see a bunch of pieces. I just dumped all these pieces out. All the pieces are now out.
Right.
Now we got to start putting these pieces together. So the best way to do it is to start at one place. And I say we start with the sisters. Who are they? Why did they have a foster kid, Anna, that's not even who that is? Why are they torturing their own sons? Let's start with them. Let's talk about the sisters. The Morova sisters. Let's go back to the beginning. Let's go back a year in 2007. Let's go over the sisters' background.
Who are they?
Who are they? Well, here's what we know, or what I could find. They were born to a loving family. They had one middle sister who was not involved in this, but all 3 were best friends growing up. So now we're talking about Clara and Katerina. Clara, 28-year-old. Katerina, her older sister, the oldest, 30. And they were together in the house. She was raised Catholic, which explains a lot.
Clara or Katerina?
The
whole family was Catholic.
Okay.
Yeah. She excelled in school. Volleyball, gymnastics, swimming. Very pretty woman who I'll show you right now. I'll show you her. Did you see her?
I don't think you showed us.
This is her.
Oh, yeah. Pretty. Blonde hair. Has a couple of kids.
I'm going to show you the headline of this because we're going to come back to it.
Got it.
Y'all can stew on this too. I shouldn't be giving all this stuff away, but I don't want this to get too confusing. So I'm just going to throw this out there. That's what the headline says.
What the fuck? Hold on. Wait, what?
Well, what does it say? It says
Modern day cannibals.
The woman who ate her son?
the woman who ate her own son. Okay.
No.
I thought this was a human trafficking case.
I think it's more than human trafficking. I think it's human trafficking and cooking. Human trafficking and chefing.
Flora had Jacob at 18. Her and her husband had a steady relationship, very stable, but everything was going wonderful for a while at least. But the husband did eventually move on. Clara, the mother, got her degree in economics. Very smart lady. She was a fantastic mother. Her middle sister said, quote, she was a great mother and I admired her. I wish that in the future I'd have the same relationship with my own children. In 2003, however, that marriage was on the rocks. There were heated arguments, divorce. They did split up, although it was mutual. They still retained a friendly relationship. Now, here's where the depression comes in. In 2004, Anika was adopted by Clara, and more so because she wanted to follow in her sister's footsteps. Her sister, which was 2 years older, Katerina, who lived with her at the time, was into children's education. And it just so happened that there was a 13-year-old who has had a terrible upbringing that needed a home, Anika. And I think she bit off more than she could chew with Anika because
Oh, is that a cannibal pun?
Oh God. No.
I didn't even pick up on that. I'm still like 30 seconds behind.
Anna was pale. She was a sickly child, and she would often need to be carried up and down stairs. She had a lot of problems. And almost immediately, Clara began getting extremely depressed. She couldn't handle it. Let's just be honest. She has 2 kids of her own, a very loving mother. She adopts Anna, and right after that, she just cannot handle it. And this was a whole year it took her to adopt this special needs child. Her sister, Katerina, had to move in to help, but she went from a loving, doting mother down to the deepest, darkest depression anyone could ever witness because of Anna. She's very hard to manage, you know? It's a lot of work. So at that point, this is around 2004, she started avoiding company. She started avoiding her friends. Her friends would be boxed out. They would try to come over and she wouldn't let them in. She was just always at home. She would walk around depressed and sad. She would see Anna, who she tried so hard to show her motherly love. Anna would stare at the ground, avoided all eye contact. There's a photo I showed in the last episode that shows Anna taken in the context of a family photo, like an outing. They were kayaking or something. She is staring at the ground. Well, who is Anna to begin with? All we know about her is that their grandmother had once cared for this girl, but one day, and this girl was not the product of the grandparents. They just knew a couple who had a lot of drug problems, and one day they dropped Anna as a little child off at the grandparents' house, and ever since they took good care of her. She was a loving grandmother, but she was elderly, and in 2004, guess what? She passed away. So now Anna, who has been living with the grandmother of the 2 sisters, the grandmother now suddenly dies, and this girl is in limbo. She's going to be fostered out somewhere. So the Morova sisters said, okay, we can do it. We can take care. Since she's been in her family anyway, we can take care of her. So that is kind of where Anna comes into play. As I already mentioned, who is she? Because she's not the same Anna who went through the adoption process. And by this also casts doubt on the whole system itself, because the judge is now interviewed, because the judge who went through all the fostering and all the paperwork and all the background checks, she has to now go and testify. The judge has to testify that, no, this was Anna, this was her, you know? Now it's just like, who is this?
Right.
It's just so weird, right? It's fucking nuts.
I have no idea what's going on anymore.
That's what I don't want to happen.
No, I'm sorry.
So what do you need clarification on? Like, what do we need to clarify here?
I was really kidding.
But
this is confusing though.
Yeah.
There's a whole bunch of unknowns.
Like
who is who, and like who are they really is really the question.
Yeah. It's like, if it's not people that they're saying that they are, well then who are they? And especially if like the real person is safe and sound. Why would they use a real person's identity instead of just like making something up?
That's a good question.
Well, who says that? Who says the Morova sisters? Yes, they knew that their son, the son Andres, was in the basement. But did they know that Anna was not Anna?
No.
I mean, my assumption was that yes, and that was a malicious
thing.
Thing.
This whole adoption process.
How would they not know? If it was not the same person of the person that they adopted.
Has anyone adopted a kid out there? Because I don't know much about the process, but I know it is a lot harder than adopting like a dog.
Oh,
It is a big thing, even in the Czech Republic.
Yeah, and it's expensive.
A lot of paperwork. Very expensive. Yeah. A lot of bureaucracy goes through there.
Yep.
So to have someone that is not Anna go through the entire system of the adoption.
How?
Because now they're going to the social workers. They're going to anyone who knows her and trying to say, who did she go through the adoption? Did she go through the adoption process? There was a girl named Anna that went through the adoption process, but was this her? What the fuck is going on? Everyone is confused.
Yeah.
If you read the media papers and all the big newspapers, you can tell by their verbiage and how their vernaculars and stuff like that they themselves are really confused about this.
Well, did you hear about the case, and not true crime murder or anything, but the girl that was Natalia Grace, that the family adopted her from a country in Europe, and she was supposedly like 4 years old or 6 years old when they adopted her, and she had dwarfism, but when they adopted her, she had like pubic hair. So then they were like, this girl is definitely not 6 years old. And then there was a whole battle about how old is this person, and they like had her age legally changed to an adult. God. And then they had her in like a motel by herself, and like, but it was this whole thing about, is this girl an adult posing as a child because she has dwarfism, or is she actually a child who has like health problems or other things like that? Very, very interesting. The documentary is on HBO Max.
All right, so I said that Claire looked up to her older sister Katerina, and even though Claire had a economics degree and she was successful in her field, she decided to go into child education. However, once Anna was adopted, the depression set in and all that went out the window. She is basically now has withdrawn herself and moved to this small village in Kurim. And that's where we started the story on the first episode in the dungeon there.
Right
in that apartment.
With Andrish.
Yeah. She would refuse to talk to neighbors, refuse to talk to lifelong friends, and close family couldn't even reach her.
So she's like totally withdrawn.
Even Gabriella, which is her middle sister, they used to be all best friends, completely cut off. All three sisters were best friends. And now you only have the two sisters. They cut the middle one off, along with everyone else, including the biological father. So here's another thing. Think about this. You have these two boys now, and the daughter who escaped or was kidnapped out the window in this children's institution. Who are you going to give them to? Can you trust the father's not in on this? He says he's not. He says he has no idea what was going on. But they can't just release him because they don't know if he's a part of whatever this crazy shit is that's going on. So they stayed there for months just because they couldn't trust any immediate family, even though they said, I had no idea that this was going on. Isn't that crazy? So the boys are basically now in captivity in a children's hospital just because they couldn't be released anywhere. Fucking nuts, right?
Yeah.
All right. So this gets a lot more confusing.
Oh, wonderful. How can it get more confusing?
A letter comes in from Anna.
Oh, not from Hogwarts?
So we're going back now to when Anna was in the children's institution.
Uh-huh.
They left her alone. She was screaming, spitting. She was trying to bite the staff members. They left her alone for 2 days, kept feeding her, obviously, sliding food in there. She got quiet, very quiet. They thought they were going to make a breakthrough. They went into her room only to find that the window was open. The bars were removed and Anna was not there.
She escaped?
Jen, Jesus Christ. The premier ombudsman, I guess like the president, ombudsman.
Yeah. An ombudsman is like a legal person who
she was studying abroad in Europe. Did we know that?
There was like an ombudsman.
I've heard that term too. Ombudsman.
Ombuds person. They're like kind of like the mediator. And like judge. It's not like an official judge, but they are an
arbitrator.
Yeah, like in a committee, if you will.
So the premier ombudsman, the premier ombudsman of South Moravia, receives a handwritten letter claiming to be Anna.
It sounds like a fake place like Genovia.
It said nothing about her escaping the institution, and it was 10 pages long. It did say that she had seen the news about the mother, her foster mother, Clara, who was arrested, and the letter basically said that she wanted to clear things up. Now, this letter had no grammatical errors and was written in perfect prose. The letter said that Andres was locked up in the basement for punishment purposes. He was misbehaving. He was wild. He was unruly. And they were strict Catholics. You know, that's how they treat children in other ways.
No, I'm not
going there. They're very disciplinarian. They treat children and then the children treat them. It's like a yin
Don't
and yang.
generalize. Don't generalize. just don't.
There's okay. No, all right. Andres was misbehaving wildly. That's why he was in the basement. It's not a big thing. Let my mother go. But the handwriting, it did match the doodles, the quantum physics forum, or the quantum physics formula. I meant the calculus formula.
Right.
It matched her handwriting precisely. So maybe someone was making her write this. I don't know. So now this comes out. The letter is published in the media, and now people are having problems with the legal system. They're like, can we even trust this whole process? Because who is this? Anyway, on the last episode, we stopped with the DNA didn't match. So who did the DNA belong to? Well, they ran it, and it belonged to the daughter of a very successful actor named Victor Scala. This is him right here.
Huh.
That's him. He's kind of cute.
He looks like Brendan Fraser.
Yeah. I don't know why the only picture, I mean, this is not the only picture, but the picture I chose was him in a Marachi hat. I don't know why I put that picture there. I probably should have found a normal picture.
Like that one. But wow, is there something going on with the entertainment ring? Like an entertainment child trafficking ring? Because the other child that we talked about that that was a playwright's kid or wasn't. Because
was or wasn't. I don't know.
Was not his child.
What?
Was the entertainment industry, or was this like a wealthy
person ring?
Client ring because of the clientele and the children?
All right. Victor Scala, he is a very successful actor, well known.
I don't know him.
The DNA matched his daughter. What the hell? What is going on? He did have a 13-year-old daughter at that time.
Ooh,
this is so
that wasn't
weird.
Her?
No, it's not her. She's safe at home.
Well, apparently not.
This is getting weird.
Are they providing like fake DNA?
Or they're giving up their real children and taking another child and selling their real child or something?
I don't know if I like the way that sounds.
So now, not only is the Czech police, Norwegian police, and Interpol.
I was going to say Interpol's definitely.
Yeah, Interpol front and center, because they're going to figure this out, because now the world is like, what is going on? This is playing out like some kind of Murdoch case, right?
Yeah.
I was going to say Epstein, but okay.
Yeah, we'll go with that.
There's something about his dad, right? Didn't Victor, the successful actor, have this weird father? Something? Wasn't he involved in some weird shit?
Oh, no. But wouldn't it show in the DNA if it was more matched to like a sibling versus a parent? Isn't there, you can see a distinction between, because wouldn't it be like if it was a sibling, you would have closer match to the DNA versus like because it's coming from the same parents versus being a parent's like because you would only have half of their genetics.
But I can still tell that it's like their child.
Right. But like in a paternity test, like if you were testing, this is going to sound really off, but follow me here. Like if you were testing 3 people, if you were trying to test the paternity of child A, right? If you tested that versus the actual parent versus their sibling, you could see a distinct difference in the DNA and see
between a parent and a child.
Correct.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because you can tell if it's a sibling versus a parent.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So if it matched the actor as a parent, if it matched the actor's child, why would it match? Why would they question whether it was the actor's father? Wouldn't they be able to...
No, Jen, I'm saying they looked into the actor who the DNA was a daughter, and then they're like, well, didn't his dad have some weird thing going on back in the day? I'm not saying that it was his daughter, Jen.
He was saying that it was, there were some
shady stuff going on with the... Okay,
yes,
sorry.
Yes. Not that there was a...
Sorry, I got confused. I thought you were saying that,
I know you did. It's all right.
This is a confusing case.
It is. Well, the way that you presented it, I thought you meant that, like, in my head, when I heard you say that, I was like, oh, wait, if the father
Is the grandfather also the father?
Right. I'm on the same page now.
All right. So this is the father, Joseph. Now we're trying to figure out Anna's true background. He's the one in the middle.
Oh.
Okay.
An older man.
He's pretty well known. So they look into the father's background, and I'm just going to give you a real quick rundown.
Give it to us.
In his youth, the father became interested in business, very shady business. He was convicted of several Ponzi schemes. For the most part, he was a great salesman, very convincing. You have to be to run a Ponzi scheme. Trust me, I know. I have a failed one. Just kidding. The most important thing is he is the head leader of a religious movement called the Grail movement. So this gets fucking really weird.
If you thought if it couldn't get any more confusing.
So this DNA came from the same line as a member of the Grail movement, which is a religious cult sect, very small, still active, but less than 100 people worldwide. Very, very small, super small, right? The Grail movement, and I'll talk a little bit about it, but that DNA is linked with Victor, the actor, that's his daughter. And then the father is the leader of a religious sect. So now things get thrown up a notch, right? So is everyone with me so far? It's confusing as shit.
Mm-hmm. So Victor, the father, his daughter's DNA there was something about a religious sect, but his father also was involved in a religious sect. So there's different cults going on?
No, there's one cult called the Grail movement.
The Grail movement.
I did look it up. It's based on one pamphlet. It is
only one pamphlet.
Yeah, and there's actually a YouTube video. It's really weird. I didn't get into the philosophy because it's just way too much. But what we do know is the Grail movement advocates for strict discipline so their children will grow up to be upstanding adults.
I think that's what most parents want.
Moral and upstanding. Yeah.
So
what happened?
There was police raids against any suspected member of the Grail movement. There's not a lot of them, and they're worldwide. So Interpol's now involved, and there were multiple raids. A lot of these raids happen inside daycare centers, where, if we go back to the first episode, the mother and the mother's sister worked in the daycare, local daycare there.
Yeah, right.
That's how
Andres was kept in the thing below the daycare. Got it.
Exactly.
Yeah,
they worked in the daycare.
Got it. Okay.
A lot of the daycares were raided if the Interpol suspected a Grail member worked there. And dozens of medical documents were found that were all forged involving real children from these daycares with forged diagnoses for diseases like leukemia and other various cancers.
So they were faking the identities of children.
Hold on. This is...
And their illnesses.
This is... Just listen to me.
I'm trying. I'm getting excited. This is very interesting.
Even though these documents were found to be forged, it was by some sort of medical professional.
Ooh.
There was some oncologistic knowledge. Oncology.
Yeah.
They knew about the cancers. If you're going to forge a medical document and know about leukemia and other types of cancers, they knew the exact science of it, which means they have people in the Grail movement who are medical professionals.
Yeah, okay. You can't just be like, this child has leukemia and not provide any evidence. Like, you need to be able to explain the illness and the symptoms and the course of treatment and stuff. So that would make sense why they would want someone with oncologistic knowledge.
Yeah. I'm going to go into some of the abuse right quick. Okay, to get this out the way. We're talking about Anna right now, the 13-year-old who is missing but has written a letter, maybe forced writing the letter.
With the Tesseract?
Yeah. So we're talking about her right now. From the Kurim case by Ryan Green, the more the two brothers, Andres and Jacob, spoke about their sister, who they thought was a biological sister. I mean, they're young, right?
Yeah.
The more they spoke about her, the more their adoration seemed almost too intense, and their praise of her was too glowing for a simple sibling love. A caregiver at the institution recalled Jacob once saying that her sister Anna was special. When he was asked how, he said that she was chosen by God.
Oh boy.
Here we go.
Here we go. Here we go.
Well, I think if you're on a roller coaster, I think we just hit the top.
All right.
Yeah, we're like clink, clink, clink.
I think we're on a roller coaster at the very top, but
Is this the fake out top though?
no, I think it's the real top, but they haven't finished putting the tracks together. So I think it just falls off.
Oh my gosh. You saw that thing about Carowinds, right? Where the
No.
steel beam cracked and they had to shut down a coaster.
Every night.
Don't like roller coasters for that reason. Nope.
Every night, the boys would be woken up in the middle of the night, 2, 3 in the morning, and they would receive 2 lashes on their back from a whip. Now, we're talking about the 8-year-old and 6-year-old.
Andres and Jacob.
But also, they were given a choice. Would you want to receive another lashing so that your sister would be spared from hers? So each one of them had 2 lashings, including the sister, Anna. But the boys were given an option. We could hit you so she can be spared. Think about that psychology. What are they trying to do there? Every time the boys had chosen to receive an additional lash to spare their sister.
Wow.
They made it so that their sister is special.
Yeah, I think that's the psychology, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So this abuse wasn't always there. As I said, it wasn't until Anna came. But at the summer of 2006, this was a very loving family. I mean, they were in school, they were very social and everything else. Some of the abuse that we talked about last time, the Morova sisters put their children through, they would send them to this camp, a cottage. This is where a lot of the unknowns still are at. A cottage in a village somewhere. No one knows who was in attendance, but there were supposedly members of the Grail movement there in attendance. And a lot of these members have not been outed. So no one really knows who was there.
So it's like a summer camp.
In the cottage were dog cages where the boys were shoved into, separated from communicating. They were fed out of dog bowls. And then that's when the abuse at the cottage started.
Oh.
This is from Ryan Green's book, quote, with bags over their heads. They were beaten with belt buckles and a bamboo pole, scratched with forks, had cigarettes stubbed out on their genitals, and had hot water, hot enough to be agonizing, but not enough to cause permanent damage, slowly poured over their abdomens. On one occasion, Andrej had his head held down in a bucket of water. The psychological abuse, they would keep their heads covered at all times. They were constantly, now this was like during the summer cottage, they were constantly taunted and humiliated. They were cursed at. They were told they weren't loved and they were just here so they can die. They were going to kill them. They were forced to memorize vulgar words and phrases. They had distorted music blaring at them at all hours of the day, enough to make them queasy and unorientated. Very psychological abuse here.
Yeah.
One of the only times the bags were ever removed from the 2 boys, from the heads of the boys, is when they were forced to inflict physical harm on each other. They were forced to dig shallow graves, measuring the exact width and length of their own bodies and lie in them for several days. For some reason, Andres seems to have attracted the bulk of the torture. This is from Ryan Green. This singling out culminated in what was probably the most horrific and revolting act of the entire hideous experience. Andres was taken out of his cage and held down tightly to stop him escaping. Clara then cut a piece of flesh from his rear. You remember that little scar he had? That circular scar?
Yeah.
That no one knew what it was? Clara, the mother, then cut a piece of flesh from his rear while he squirmed and screamed, the source of the circular indentation in his buttocks. While he still wept, the piece of meat was passed around and consumed by the adults present. So she was basically eating her own son.
Literally, that's what the headline said.
This is the doctrine of the movement, the Grail movement, which has a cool name, but Jesus Christ.
No.
So Jacob actually returned to school, but had severe problems.
I wonder why.
Andrej had a hearing problem, which was why he was taken out. However, when the hearing was tested by real doctors, it turned out to be a complete lie. Not that he was lying, the parents were lying and saying that he had a hearing issue. He was chained to the desk by one of the prominent members, and don't dwell on it, but you'll hear her name later, Hanna Basova. She's the one who orchestrated the first chaining of the boys to in the daycare. She was working in the daycare. Now, one thing about this is look at his face, right? This is the boy one more time, and the thing.
Poor baby.
He is abused, yeah, but and also look at this photo. Is this not a very high quality photo, right?
Yeah.
Does anyone wonder why that's so high quality? And
Are
in
there
fact,
people watching this?
in fact, in the Czech Republic, it is still currently impossible to find cameras of this high quality for sale. And this was in 2010.
Is this when Silk Road was still a thing? Are they like
Silk Road.
selling the video stream or something?
No, it's not illegal to have high quality cameras.
No, I'm saying what it is videoing is the illegal part.
Silk Road was drugs.
No, they did like human trafficking on there too.
Oh, you saw that on there? Just kidding. The cameras are impossible to find, and they were imported at a very high cost. All right, let's go back. We're in Kurim now. The cameras in Kurim. You have two sisters who have to provide for 3 children. Both work at a daycare that don't make any damn money. They don't make money, but yet they have high cost cameras. I'm talking about $10,000, $20,000, $30,000.
Someone's footing that bill.
Yeah.
Where are they getting the money for this? In fact, Flora, the mother, has not worked in about a year.
Well, the cult is funding the cameras.
Also, when they were going through the background of the Morova sisters, okay, this apartment's pretty nice, but they actually have 3 other homes in their names. 3 other homes.
Oh my gosh. How many other kids do they have then?
One of them works at a daycare, the older sister now.
Access to kids.
The younger one quit. How are they getting this money? Well, there's a couple different theories about how they're getting the money. From the Kurim case by Ryan Green, the possible answer came from what the camera had been used for. Clara's was capable of recording. A videotape had been found in the house with 3.5 hours of footage of Andres in the closet, tied by hand and foot to a shelf and close to the end of it, falling asleep. In a sick irony, the footage was found recorded over a videotape of a children's fairy tale titled Tales from Grandmother's Sheep. So you put that in there. Oh, I want to watch this, Tales from Grandmother's Sheep. And it is 3 hours of watching a boy chained up in the basement. Also, let's go back to Andres smiling at the camera. Remember I said that when he was finally rescued? He was smiling at the camera. I don't know. Was that like trained in him? Did they train him to do that? Who smiles? You just been in a dungeon for a year. Well, think of yourself as a 30-year-old, 40-year-old pervert who is very rich, who can afford the nicer things in life, like an 8-year-old to rape and take advantage of. You don't want some kid all screaming and you want them smiling and yes, please do whatever you want to me. Even photographs were found in the house, and just selling a few photos a month, since they're obviously very illegal, which makes their black market price extraordinarily high. You could get $10,000 for one of these photos. Maybe that helped fund their multiple homes, right? Also, the live streaming. They're live streaming, probably no problems with their internet. I mean, that sounds fucked up, but
dang.
But they're live streaming Jacob all day. They're live streaming. Who's paying for that?
Oh my gosh, it's almost like a zoo. It's like when you're watching like the panda cam from Anchorman or the giraffes.
So, I mean, how many people were watching this? How many patrons did they have watching this, paying? How much would you pay for that to watch a 6-year-old in a basement chained up?
Well, I wouldn't, just to make that clear.
You probably pay, I don't know, $5,000 a month or maybe less, whatever.
Jesus Christ.
That's fucking ridiculous.
Why do you think the cameras are so high quality? Another motive was the abuse of the boys was to fulfill some prophetic goal. I mean, this was a cult. They were in a cult, they were in a religious sect called the Grail movement, right? Maybe the abuse was to ascend them higher to heaven. We've done cases like that where it's distorted thinking and actions will ascend you to a greater status in the afterlife. It could be like that. Anna, as a prophet, a forced prophet, remember the sons are taking lashes for her? She's the prophet, the chosen one from God. The boys were probably being raised as her protectors. She was the idol. She was the, quote, unthinking, unfeeling, utterly loyal and dedicated guardians. That's what they were of Anna. She was the prophet of God, Maybe. Shit, right? All right. This is so fucked up. All right. Now, where are we at now? Let's get a little more fucked up here.
Oh,
Sure.
boy, I can't wait.
All right. So is it? Anna wrote this letter and agreed to meet Interpol. Her guardians, which were 4 of them, agreed to take them, switch out Anna and everything else because they don't know where she's at. She has been spotted in several different places, including Denmark, Germany, Scandinavia, Sweden, all over Europe. So she is going to be rescued. And the co-conspirators worked out something where they would be given immunity or whatever if they just give back this 13-year-old girl who has nothing to do with this. So that's what they do. They meet up, and around the same time, the media is still probing into the daycare situation. So Anna is going to be brought by her captives to be released to go back to Czech Republic. At the same time, the media, the media is the thing that got this case solved because they were just like, what the fuck? We got to figure this out by going through everyone's background and everything else. In the daycare, they found a very weird coincidence. There was a missing persons report in the daycare that the Morova sisters worked in. All right, keep with me. It was also a woman that worked there as a co-worker. Her name was Barbara. And she had went missing, and nothing they had noticed at the time that Barbara had went missing. And in the reports, they found that she had shared an apartment with the Morova sisters. So now Anna is returned to Interpol. There, they're going to bring Anna back to the Czech Republic. But at the same time, so what do? They just take her and rescue her. The media came out and did side-by-side pictures of Barbara and Anna, and it seemed like they sort of looked remarkably like the same person. Barbara, a 33-year-old woman who went missing from a daycare, assumed to be killed by the Morova sisters at this point, is now in the media held side by side to this 13-year-old Anna girl, and people are saying, wait.
They think a 33-year-old and a 13-year-old are the same person.
Are they just showing pictures side by side, or are there videos of 2 different people?
They're saying, is it possible? Because in 2005, Barbara had stopped working at the daycare due to some illness, but no one knows really what happened to her. She was once plump, and she plummeted in weight. Especially significant in their interactions with Anna, many of them came away with the impression that she was older than her claimed 13 years of age. Her eyes were the greatest source of suspicion. Her gaze seemed far too mature for an adolescent. She also had stretch marks, highly unusual for a girl of her age, although still plausible if she had suffered very rapid weight loss. Now the media is saying, wait, is it possible that 13-year-old Anna is actually a 33-year-old woman who was missing from a daycare? Could this be the same person?
Wow, I guess it could.
All right, what do you think about that?
That's a twist I was not expecting.
So where's the Anna, though, that they would have adopted then?
She does not really exist. They just re-identified Barbara, and
But they adopted someone and had a DNA test. Where is that human being? Right?
The paperwork was all fake. That's my theory.
So the legal system in some way has to be in on it.
Correct.
So high-ranking officials in this cult.
Probably. That's my guess.
But wait, you're saying that 13-year-old
could pass off as a
33-year-old.
Or vice versa. A 33-year-old could pass off as a 13-year-old.
Well, if you're malnutritioned and you're,
Can I see the picture again?
Well, the judge who dealt with Anna in the courtroom during the foster procedures had spent 2.5 hours with Anna and was so positive that this was not a 33-year-old woman. This was a 13-year-old Anna.
I am so confused.
Yeah, I know. It's very confusing. Barbara, as I said, she went missing. Her captives were in contact with the Czech embassy and Interpol, and she shows up with 4 men. Her father, Joseph Scarla, the head of the cult, the 85-year-old man in charge of the Grail movement. Her biological father, Jesus Christ.
What is going on?
A very prominent lawyer, a former Czech police officer, and another man as well who is very high up in the social status. The lawyer, so they're showing up right now. Interpol is going to take Anna, rescue her, but then they're like, Anna is not Anna. It's Barbara. She's not 13. You can't rescue her, and you can't arrest us for traveling with a 33-year-old woman. This is fucking fucking nuts.
I am
the lawyer. This very, very prominent lawyer says that Barbara simply pretended to be a 13-year-old Anna simply to occupy the skin she felt most comfortable in. She wanted to be along the children. Her lawyer, Josef Kolinsky, explained because as a child she felt happy and safe, she wasn't treated as an adult. No one took her seriously. People laughed at her and made fun of her because she was acting like a child, which made sense because when she showed up to get rescued, she was found clutching a teddy bear and had even begged her father, the cult leader, for ice cream on the way home. Plus, she had several psychic vows from experts. I'm talking about like 50 different psychiatrists had interviewed her. Every one of them claimed that she was 13 years old. Some even claimed that she may have been between 11 and 12.
So it was all an act?
Barbara was cooperating and technically did nothing wrong. That is, if she was not a part of the abuse, but they don't know that yet. They sure as hell can't just arrest her. So this 13-year-old Anna, the media said she looks like this woman who went missing. Lo and behold, she is this woman. A 33-year-old woman who went missing after she suffered an illness and had rapid weight loss, who was roommates with the Morovas.
Oh, they were roommates.
So was she in on it?
They don't know that yet, but
or
they sure
was this against her will? Oh my God.
They don't know that yet, but they sure as hell can't arrest her because she didn't do anything wrong. Acting like a 13-year-old child is doing nothing wrong.
Well, you're impersonating someone else.
It doesn't matter. We have that here.
Sure, and that's fraud.
I could wear a dress right now.
I think we're talking about two different things. Are we talking about impersonating or are we talking about identity? Because they're
No, that's
whatever.
not what this is about.
Prove that
because
shit.
this is she's being
her
another
lawyer
human
said
being.
she is more comfortable in the skin of a 13-year-old girl.
That makes
It makes no sense. Well,
so it is what we're talking.
It's like,
about.
hey, I want to be a chick now. Then you can't arrest me for that because gender confusion or identity. So it's like
that's what I'm saying. That's where there's a gray area. There's a gray area.
I'm sorry. You can't just say like the age is not identity. Like you were born on this day, and there.
Yes, you can. You can say that you feel like a 13-year-old girl.
Okay, I'm not going to dwell on this. Let's keep going.
Either way, they can't arrest her, nor can they arrest her lawyers. She has several lawyers with her. This is several lawyers with her. This is a religious sect.
Okay. I agree with you. I was asking a question. I agree that those two are different things. That's all I'm saying.
Okay, so where are we at now?
I don't even know.
Well,
Who are all these people?
They're all posers.
All right.
And they're all making money pretending to be children?
No. Let's finish this up. Who is Barbara? Let's tell you who Barbara was really quick. Barbara not only was working at the daycare with the Morova sisters, she also was in the same university as a college student with the oldest sister, Katharina. Barbara, Anna, the same person.
Got it.
The same person. The 33-year-old Barbara is the daughter, the biological daughter of the actual cult leader,
right?
Joseph.
Correct.
The 85-year-old man in charge of the Grail movement.
That's the one thing that I know for sure.
So you know that Anna, the 13-year-old, is also a 33-year-old called Barbara.
Correct.
Who is the cult leader.
Correct.
She also met the Morova sisters, or at least Katerina, in college. All right, just listen. It comes together.
Okay.
And who was Anna's DNA they found?
Barbara's.
No, the DNA that they found was the cult leader's son, Victor, who was an actor. That was her daughter, which makes sense. Barbara is the daughter of a cult leader who is indoctrinated into this cult. That's her whole belief. She goes to college. She meets Katharina, who is in child education. She gets Katharina to adopt this new religion, the Grail movement, and then which moves over to Clara. And that movement, which includes strict discipline, child pedophilia, all this stuff, eventually encompasses the Morova sisters because Barbara, the 33-year-old, also the 13-year-old, the same person, had introduced her to this. Mm-hmm. And since the cult makes their money, since it's such a small sect, they make most of their money off child pedophile rings. She saw an opportunity to befriend the Morova sisters.
That run to daycare.
And she was
the Morova sisters. Then she moved in, and then she's like, hey, I got a great idea.
I'm going to be Anna.
Let me be Anna. Okay.
And make money off of these pedophiles.
All right.
Oh.
What in the hell? Was this Martin's request?
Jesus. All right. I'm just going to...
There's just a lot of moving parts.
All right. I know, but do you guys kind of understand it?
Yes.
All right.
I'm on the same page now.
Well, we're going to... So...
And they're also taking chunks out of buttocks and eating them because that's part of the doctrine.
Well, the religious
members,
this is not an easy case. They're still members trying to be sought. No one knows who is always involved in this. All we can really do...
Sure, because the customers that are watching these videos have nothing to do with the cult necessarily.
All we can really do...
Good point.
All we can really do, because now Anna, Barbara, the same person, has already talked to Interpol.
Anna or Barbara?
But they didn't know this stuff yet. They didn't know that this was the roommate and she was actually the daughter of the Grail movement, and she may be orchestrating all this stuff.
They just talked to her as Anna, the 13-year-old.
No, they
talked to her as Barbara, the 33.
But they didn't know her full background.
Right, got it. Okay.
They didn't know if she was abused as well.
Right.
The point is they couldn't arrest her because they didn't know yet. But now, as they start to dig up, okay, this makes sense. Maybe she did this to bring children in or whatever. Now they can finally arrest her, but they had already let her go, because she had all these powerful lawyers. She was cooperating the whole time. So, and that person in the courtroom, the foster girl, was a 13-year-old girl, but it was the actor's daughter being masqueraded the whole time.
Oh.
And then when it was finally came down to the wire, that's when they switcherooed Anna.
Got it.
Okay. So now we kind of know that Anna, may have done something very illegal here as far as bringing people into this cult, children, pedophiles, stuff like that. But here's the problem. The authorities had already let her go because they couldn't rescue her. She's not 13 years old. They couldn't arrest the lawyers or anything and there were very powerful lawyers there who knew the doctrine.
Right.
They couldn't do anything. They couldn't arrest her because they don't have any proof that she was orchestrating this stuff. But she was going to cooperate, right? Mm-hmm. So now Barbara is completely vanished again. First Anna, and now Barbara, the 33-year-old. So now when they were at first trying to save Anna / Barbara, now they're trying to find her and arrest her as a 33-year-old woman. Okay, now let me bring this to...
Sorry, I just had a Mitch McConnell moment. Go on.
Let me bring this home real quick because this story is about Anna. They finally arrested Barbara, Anna, the same person.
Mm-hmm.
They finally found her. January 5th, 2008, Norway, at a rental car. Hertz rental car. There was a man, Mikhail Riha. He was returning a car when the police officers busted in. Mikhail was traveling with a 13-year-old boy stolen from an orphanage.
Or was he? Was it Barbara?
Yep.
What the fuck? What?
Yeah. I was waiting for you guys to get that.
No.
The 13-year-old boy was Barbara, the 30-year.
Anna.
This is a really confusing.
And they are in the most remote fucking place.
So is Barbara Adam as well?
Yes.
Barbara is Adam. Yes.
They're all the same person.
Oh.
Can you show a picture of this bee?
It's like Billy Milligan, but not. It's like the actual different identities. Holy smokes. She does look like a teenage boy. It's like me.
With your bowl cut.
But she also looks like a 33-year-old woman, too.
Yes. Holy smokes. The question that I was going to ask.
So this is her as a 33-year-old woman. That's the same woman.
Yeah.
That's Barbara.
Was she? Oh, my goodness. Holy smokes. Earlier when you told me not to ask.
This is a better picture of a 33-year-old woman.
Yes, clearly an adult.
Exactly. But what about the child?
Shaved head? No.
Right, let me show you the child picture and see if it's the same. So this is her, you said, as an adult.
Correct.
This is the same time period. Not even a year has passed when she had this picture taken.
Wow.
So you said that woman, that 33-year-old woman looked like her because it's the same person.
Yeah.
That is Anna and this is Barbara.
Correct.
And Adam would be...
Yes, with leukemia.
Yes, exactly.
Holy smoke.
Shit.
No, okay, so let me go back to the question that you told me that I could ask
later. Okay, go ahead.
I thought you were going to put together Adam was Anna. That's why I stopped you because I didn't want people to get that.
No, I was going to ask if Adam was the same, looked similar to that boy because last night at the disco party, I found my own doppelganger.
Really?
Yeah, I did. I have a video.
That's creepy.
Yeah, it was tripping me out.
It's scary.
Were you on drugs? And that's why you were tripping out?
Why do you think that I would be on drugs?
Because you said you were tripping.
It would just kind of creep me out that someone looked so similar to me. And Tara was like, oh my God, she looks like just like you. She was like the same build, had a bun, like same similar facial features. It was very, very, I'll show you. I'll post a video to Discord maybe later, but I will show, I tried to get a picture and I couldn't get a picture. So I got a video and you can kind of see.
So what do you think? This was kind of made a movie called Orphan. And they did, I don't know if they followed.
Oh, yeah. I didn't see that movie, but I remember the movie being named Orphan.
Yeah, I don't know if it follows it exactly, but there was a movie called Orphan. And here, let me show you the movie.
Like the trailer?
No, yeah, just the, I guess that's the...
Oh, yes. I remember that picture.
The whole thing revolves around Anika, who was not who she claimed to be.
Correct. And Anika was Barbara.
Yes.
And also Adam.
And
that's how they found him a year later. They go to arrest this man with the 13-year-old child. They didn't know it was Barbara.
Right.
Until they started putting two and two together and like, wait.
Why do you have this 13-year-old? And that's not a 13-year-old.
Well, so here's what happened. You remember the press release that the actual father of the 13-year-old Adam?
Yeah.
So he came out and he said that he was an innocent party, and people believe he was.
Right.
Barbara, who had escaped from the children's institution, was like redirected through him, sort of. So he was helping to hide her because he thought that it was a 13-year-old girl trying to hide from abuse.
Okay.
So it is so...
But she showed up on the same DNA as the actor because her father is the cult leader and the actor's father is the cult leader too. That's her sibling?
Her father is the cult leader.
That's what I just said.
Barbara Scala. She is the cult leader.
Yeah, that's what...
The cult leader's daughter.
That's what I just said.
Brother,
and she became the cult leader.
So she masqueraded under her brother's daughter's DNA.
Right. That's what I just said.
Isn't that fucking crazy?
That's crazy.
So what happened to Barbara after the arrest?
Or was that part 3?
She got arrested.
But what happened to her? Is she... has she been convicted yet? What has she even been convicted of? Are the other children okay?
Hi, Brittany. Welcome. We just figured out that this lady has been masquerading as a teenager.
Oh my God. My brain really hurts after this one.
Jesus Christ.
Wow. I'm glad I only limited myself to one drink because I wouldn't have followed any of this.
I could not
Same
do
for
more
me
than
for 2.
Yeah.
I could not do more than 1K. I was like, dude, this is
really complicated.
I definitely understand now why you were like, I'm going to have to wait on this.
Yeah, no kidding.
Because on Wednesday, I was like ready to go. I was like, okay, like I'm going to go. And he was like, we're not doing it today. Like, I was like, oh, okay. And then now I totally understand.
Oh, this movie was produced by Leonardo DiCaprio, the Orphan.
Oh.
Yeah. So let me see. So a lot of the news is not in English. What was that?
That was my phone.
I'll see if the Morova sisters were arrested. Actually, Barbara Skrlova now. The con woman's life after prison. That's her right there.
After prison.
She still looks like a teenager.
She's out.
She became an international sensation after Norwegian authorities...
Sensation. That's the word we're going to use.
After Norwegian authorities revealed the 33-year-old woman had deceived teachers, police, and childcare workers into believing she was a 13-year-old boy named Adam. Jesus. But she claims she was a victim herself. It's too funny.
I mean, being the child of a cult leader, she probably had some sort of...
So Barbara allegedly manipulated 2 sisters into believing she was a 12-year-old girl. Flora, a mother of 2 sons, met Barbara Skrlova while studying in college, and Barbara introduced herself as Anika and that she didn't have a place to stay. That's when she started,
Got it.
So apparently the Moriova sisters were duped as well.
But they got jail time.
Even though they
were like indoctrinated by the cult and were eating their own child's
I mean,
bottom.
that is probably pretty bad. Like they deserve some punishment for that, even if they were brainwashed.
The evidence suggested that Katerina knew about Barbara's deception, but decided against telling her sister because of her sister, Flora, suffered from a mental illness.
Dang.
Jesus Christ.
So Barbara is already out of prison.
Yeah, they're all out of prison. The court sentenced Barbara to 5 years in prison. She was released after serving half her sentence after her lawyer successfully argued that her psychological well-being had suffered in prison.
Oh, Oh God.
This is a lawyer. This is a lawyer
who's hired by the cult.
who is hired by a religious sect. Don't call them a cult. They don't want to be called that.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Nope.
I don't care what you don't want to be called. It's like the aliens. I don't really care if you don't want to be called aliens. I'm going to call you an alien. I don't care.
This is
Nicole has made it very clear she does not care.
And this law. So there's a lot of money in this because the child sex rings and stuff like that. That's how they're making their money.
It's a whole Epstein thing all over again.
Right.
Dude.
Or before.
I can promise you it also probably ties into Epstein.
Oh, I was
probably
thinking this entire time.
Anyway, thank you guys for listening. I am not ever taking a case on like this again. So
anyway.
Yeah. Well, until next time, good night, you lovely, lovely people.
I kind of run this shit.